Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out Cardano's price chart, and as you can see we are having a rather decent move on the upside now, and this on Twitter, if you check it out, actually started a lot of discussions about whether this point right in here is our final bottom in Cardano or not. So in the interest of being absolutely objective, in today's video we are going to check out a bearish and also a bullish count at the same time, and I'm going to tell you what you need to see next. I'm gonna say probably in the coming days and weeks in ADA if you want to talk bullish with more confidence. So are you ready? Let's dive in and see what is going on. And first things first, if you remember the last time that we talked about ADA, we were right in here, and the idea was that, well, okay, this might be a slow and choppy move down, so we may see another move on the upside. But back then, according to my primary scenario, we said even if we get another phase up, even at that point, this whole move is going to be just a correction structure, meaning what? After it's over, we can get a move down. And we said, if you want to be a bit more bullish in ADA and you want to say, you know what, maybe we have hit our final low, okay, just be a bit more patient and see at least in like very short term, are we able to get back above this very important region, which the higher band of it is about, let's say, 85 cents area. If we do it, fair enough, that can be a great sign. And so far, at least, nope, we are definitely not there yet. So I would like to suggest, even if you want to be bullish, just be a bit more patient and careful. Now, what is going on according to the bearish scenario? You see, that actually suggests that maybe we are having like a WXY on the upside, and this can be, no, let's actually delete this one. Okay, let's say that these are the subwaves for an ABC in form of a zigzag structure, and into our C leg we are probably, in my view, having a wave 1, 2, 3, correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. So let's say in the next 12 to 24 hours, there is a chance that our move up is going to continue. But if this count is in play, then okay, I'm gonna say probably to about here, this is a wave W, correction for wave X, and this is actually our wave Y. So essentially, you're probably having like a WXY in form of a zigzag followed by a double zigzag. Now, if you do not like that count, then maybe you can say, oh, okay, you see, it's actually a bit tough to find a 5 wave in here, but if you are able to find one, well, okay, you can say to about this point is going to be the end of our wave W. And for example, this can be an ABC, this time in form of a flat correction for wave X, another ABC up into our wave Y, completing the subwaves for this time a flat and a zigzag. This does look a bit, when you look at this chart from like a zoom out point of view, maybe a bit better. But the points that I'm trying to make is this chart in ADA, at least right now, doesn't really scream bullish to me. Now, if in the short term, meaning after having another move up, you see a very strong face down, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in order to take this very important low down here about, let's say, 78 cents region, at that point, you need to be very careful, because that is actually going to very much strengthen the odds of having a bit of a bearish scenario, suggesting the bottom is not in yet. So if you want to be bullish in Cardano under any kind of circumstances from the current point, or maybe like just a bit higher, you do not want to see a strong move down in order to take this low. Okay, this is essentially your bearish confirmation in the short term. However, what about a potential bullish count? This is basically the best that I can find in ADA. You see, if you want to say that we're gonna have our final low around this area, I don't know, maybe this is like a very important support, then okay, show me off of the lowest low, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in order for me to flip bullish. Now, this specific structure is called an impulse. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, our wave 3 is simply not allowed to be the smallest wave. And in terms of the subwaves, I think you know what I'm about to say. We have to have 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. And for wave 2 and 4, well, okay, our hands are not really that tight. We can consider different patterns. Let's say ABC into 4, and yep, a WXY into wave 2. Now, here's a very important point. Sometimes we are not actually seeing an impulsive structure, except we can have something called an expanding leading diagonal, which in case of Cardano, I think we might have that if you want to be optimistic. And it looks like this. This is our initial move up into 1. Correction for wave 2, a strong move up into wave 3, which has to be bigger than 1. Correction for 4, it's gonna be bigger than wave 2, and pay attention, unlike this impulse in here, we must actually this time have overlapping of the waves between our wave 2 and 4, and this is our final move up into wave 5, and it must be the biggest wave in this structure. And in terms of the sub waves, it is sort of kind of similar to an impulse. You see, 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5, but this is a bit of a difference. If you want to go 100% according to the rules, then okay, you have to be able to find, this is the key, you have to be able to find ABCs for wave 2 and 4. Now, personally, I do like to be a bit flexible, and maybe as long as all the other sub waves are there, maybe I'm gonna say, you know what, let's have a WXY into our wave 2 and 4. It's not really going to be that much of a deal breaker personally for me. Now, having said all that, let's go on the live chart and let's say we want to be optimistic. In that case, I believe you can say maybe, excuse me, let's just take this one, from this point to about here is our wave 1, correction for wave 2, decent move up into wave 3, correction for 4, and another move on the upside into wave 5. I'm gonna say probably to about, let's say, this point. Now, since in here we are having overlapping of the waves between our wave 4 and 2, and clearly wave 3 is bigger than 1, and at the same time wave 5 is definitely the biggest wave, and in terms of our corrections, wave 4 is bigger than wave 2. Well, okay, makes sense to say, according to the bullish count, this is an expanding leading diag. Followed by that, this can be, I guess, like an A, B, C in form of a flat, and this is the key, pay attention. I still do believe that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. However, number 1, this move in Cardano has to actually accelerate for the next 48 hours, and it has to be kind of a big move on the upside. Number 2, you see, after this phase up is over, I want to see a correction structure down, a very slow and choppy pullback, and then another move up in ADA. If I see this, at that point, I'm going to be able to tell you, look, on a higher degree, this is 1, this is 2, this is wave 3 and 4 and 5, meaning what? Yup, we have most likely hit our final low all the way down here. As long as I'm not saying that, I think we need to be a bit more patient and careful, and let's just at least wait until we see a good bounce in order to get back above this very important level, and then pay full attention to the next move, because that might really be the key to all this. If we end up having from these areas a very strong move down, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and at the same time, if this impulse on the upside turns out to be not that much of a strong move, then okay, think about the bearish scenario with more confidence. On the other hand, if this ends up being a very strong move up, and then you get a correction, another move on the upside, well, okay, let's talk about the bullish scenario with a bit more confidence at that point, and let's argue the bottom is in. However, right around the highs may not necessarily be an ideal long opportunity for us. Why? Question for you. What happens after a 5 wave up, even if you want to go according to the most bullish scenario? I think you know the answer. We are going to get one way or the other a move on the downside, and if in this phase we see the right structures and identified all the right subwaves, you know what? Fair enough. Right around the end of our pullback can be a great long opportunity in hope that we start hopefully the next major phase of the bull run. But for now, it's a little bit, in my view, too soon to talk about those scenarios. Let's just focus on the current phase up and see, number 1, how strong is it going to be? And number 2, what are we going to do after it? And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Cardano's price chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the market, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.